This is the frontier post of Djerba, one of the main crossing points between Libya and Tunisia.
We're refugees here in Tunisia. We're escaping daily bombings in Nalut by Gaddafi's troops. The houses have been destroyed. There isn't enough food, not enough medicine, not enough petrol. It's really awful. The situation is critical and we're besieged on all sides.
Many of these men have been visiting families who are taking refuge in Tunisia, and now they're going back to the front lines. Since the beginning of the conflict in Libya, more than 60,000 Libyans have fled to Tunisia. Normally, the island of Djerba, some 300 kilometers from the frontier, is a mass tourist destination. The affluence here in the so-called Libyan market is deceptive, however. Just a few streets away, here in Souk, the main town in Djerba, the streets are unusually empty. There's hardly a tourist in sight. Normally, they expect around 1 million tourists a year, but numbers have dropped by more than half. It's a financial catastrophe for the people here, where the main industry is tourism from Libya and Europe.
It's market day, but there's no one here. Normally it's really crowded with shoppers, tourists all over the town, but there's nobody.
Hafed owns a restaurant, a cafe and several apartment blocks in Djerba. This summer, all his flats are rented to Libyan refugees, but he's making a loss.
It's high season now, it's July. Normally we ask quite high rents, but now for the Libyans, it's nearly half price.
Many European tourists have deserted Djerba in the aftermath of the Jasmine Revolution and the ongoing Libyan crisis. Around 40 hotels have already closed their doors, including the Spring Club, a 4-star establishment normally popular with Italians, who have disappeared this year. The manager of the hotel didn't want to give in to the pressure to cut prices in order to salvage at least something from the season.
We've seen how tour operators are profiting from the situation by cutting prices up to 50 or 60%, and that's unacceptable for us. We prefer to close the hotel than to compromise the quality of our service and the image of our hotel.
Others have decided to slash prices. The Hotel Castile has just reopened its doors. Currently, it gets around €20 per client per day. The travel agents are still making a profit from their clients, but prices remain at rock bottom. These people are the very first tourists this season at this 400-bed hotel.
Personally, I love it being this empty. It's the first time we've had such a great time, being the only ones at the hotel. They are doing everything for us, absolutely everything. It's fabulous.
The fear that some people have about there being trouble here is completely wrong. It's absolutely safe here. Everything's normal. You can have 100% normal holidays here.
The big hotels, which are directly managed by the tour operators, like this one managed by the French company Fram, have been less badly affected. Their clients haven't been put off by the revolution. In fact, many of them say they're here to support it.
Since the revolution, we should all come to Tunisia even more. The people are welcoming. The best thing we can do for them is come here on holiday because, of course, the economy has taken a hit.
European tour operators have seen bookings drop by 60% for 2011, says the Fram representative in Djerba. Even though direct management of hotels here means they can reduce costs, the impact on the staff is inevitable.
We've cut staff numbers by half. We just kept the permanent staff on. But we cut all seasonal workers, interns, trainees. We just can't take them on this season, despite the growing demand from Tunisia to employ people.
We set off towards the south of the island to meet Lassad. His contract as an accountant in a large French club hotel was cancelled on the 14th of January, the day Ben Ali left power. With a business degree, he's just found another job. But the return of tourists will not be enough to relaunch the tourist industry, he says. Staff need to be trained. Mentalities have to change.
We had 5 managers at the hotel. One of them was a former entertainer, another was a cashier at a disco, the third was a former cook, the fourth a waiter, the last one came from Morocco, and I don't know what he did before, but we haven't trained enough managers to run tourism in Tunisia.
Bad management, corruption, nepotism. The tourist industry in Tunisia, which provides 1 in 5 jobs, also needs a revolution. And many professionals want to aim for a more select market rather than the mass market.
Everything was quite controlled, quite fixed. There weren't many new ideas. Now I hope that people will be freer and everyone will get to work, and hopefully will develop good ideas.
But the winds of freedom in Tunisia have also meant some smaller tourist ventures springing up. Small houses for rent, ecotourism, gîtes, bed and breakfast, attempts to give visitors a taste of local life, all of which used to be practically impossible under the regime of Ben Ali.
It's true that before the revolution, the authorities didn't approve of us. You know, the tourists used to be under constant surveillance. Even though they didn't know it, we did. And the old regime distrusted this type of tourist accommodation. That's why just before the revolution, there were only about 6 or 7, maybe a dozen people like us working with proper permits. But today, the sector is exploding.
The people in Djerba really want to take a new broom to the tourist industry here. In the village of Guelala, we met Fethi, who's from a long line of potters. His skills have been passed from father to son for nearly 3 centuries, but he fears that they will disappear. Before Ben Ali, there were more than 200 pottery workshops in Djerba. There are only a dozen today. Fethi hopes the revolution will improve things.
Before the revolution, we tried to set up schools, but we ended up waiting 5 years for permission and never got it. But this year we hope to set up a small school in the region. Why do young people leave here? We had a revolution so we could change things. The problem is young people leaving. I still don't know why.
I want to stay in Tunisia so that we can build the future of this country together. We can't all leave. If we all leave the country, who's going to rebuild it? We have to stay in Tunisia, we have to be patient, we have to persevere and work hard, and bit by bit we'll build the future of this country the right way. That's all.